It is late on night one of NFL free agency, and the 49ers have made their first move. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the 49ers have reached an agreement on a deal and plan to sign cornerback Charvarius Ward, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to break this move down. I'll offer my thoughts on it, talk about some of the moves that have happened today pertaining to San Francisco and the players that they've lost. But first, this is a reminder for why you subscribe to the channel, because whether we're at the Chat Sports studios or if I'm at home late night, we keep you up to date with all things Niners all year round at all hours of the day. So Shefty broke this news just moments ago. Former Chiefs cornerback Charvarius Ward intends to sign a 3-year deal worth up to $42 million, including $26.7 million in guaranteed money. So this is somewhere in the neighborhood of $14 million average annual value for a cornerback who wasn't necessarily in the upper echelon of available cornerbacks in NFL free agency, like J.C. Jackson, but was in that next tier and fulfills a monster need for San Francisco. Now, over the next couple of hours, we're going to get those contract details fine-tuned because Ian Rappaport reported it's a 3-year deal worth $40.5 million. So somewhere in that range, and it's obviously a position of importance for San Francisco and has been since their season came to an end in the NFC Championship game against the Los Angeles Rams. And the 49ers' interest in Ward did date back to the NFL Combine in early March. I had tweeted it out on my Twitter page at Chase_Senior. Among some of the other 49ers rumors that were rumbling from Indianapolis about the 49ers' ties to Charvarius Ward. And you kind of had an indication that the Niners were going to address cornerback. It just came down to whether or not they were going to go after the premier options on the open market or settle for that next tier. They're more fiscally responsible with this signing, so they go with that next tier of very good but not great cornerback options in Charvarius Ward. Before we continue to talk about him as a player, do have some scouting evaluations to get to as well as some of the statistics. Do you like the move? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know in the comment section right now. So the Niners, according to The Athletic, did check in on J.C. Jackson, Stephon Gilmore, Carlton Davis. So I had a feeling late night here that a deal could go down because they were at least exploring the thought of paying big-time money to a cornerback on the free agency market. J.C. Jackson going to get $20 million per year the first 2 years of that contract. We'll see what Stephon Gilmore gets. Maybe something in the neighborhood of 12 to 15, especially if Charvarius Ward is at $14 million and Carlton Davis settled in at about 16.5 average annual compensation. So the Niners checked in on some of those upper tiers. They go with Charvarius Ward, and he's a 25-year-old cornerback. Pretty affordable contract considering the position of importance, and he's coming off the best year of his career. He's an emerging player, a little bit younger than a Stephon Gilmore at only 25 years old, which is why I like it. Maybe you get him cheaper than a Stephon Gilmore. And in the playoffs, I thought he fared well against some really good and elite wide receivers, especially in that AFC Championship game against Jamar Chase as well as T. Higgins. Charvarius Ward was really able to hold his own against two of the best young and emerging wide receivers in the National Football League. I'm not sure if he's cornerback one material, but at the very least, Charvarius Ward is a very good cornerback too. But on D'Amico Ryans' defense, they really prioritize getting after the opposing quarterback with a pass rush. And last year from week 10 on, they did a great job of generating pressure on opposing cornerbacks. So that's why I've kind of been saying all along, like, I don't know if I want to pay $20 million per year for a cornerback. I'd almost rather go $14 million per year for a Charvarius Ward, who's a very good a very good cornerback, not great, but also is 25 years old and can really exceed some of the expectations and make good on $14 million per year. And then also, while bringing him in, sign an Emmanuel Mosley, then you have a really good cornerback tandem with Ambry Thomas and potentially K'Wan Williams. Like, that right there is a very good secondary that you're not paying crazy money to, on top of having a very good defensive line that can consistently generate a pass rush on the opposing quarterback, led by Nick Bosa, who him and Deebo Samuel probably going to get paid this offseason. That's why San Francisco has been somewhat silent, or was up until now, in day one of NFL free agency. 6'1", 198, undrafted out of Middle Tennessee in 2018, was on that Super Bowl roster with Kansas City back in 2019 when they took down the 49ers in that heartbreaking loss. Originally signed with the Cowboys, was there briefly, then latched on with KC, and really grew over time into a very good cornerback with a lot of potential. Last year, 13 games, 2 picks, 10 pass breakups, had some pretty solid instincts. I like the size at 6'1", 198, and the 49ers organizational philosophy really since 2018, they've targeted and been willing to pay solid money to guys like Richard Sherman, as well as Jason Verrett, now Charvarius Ward. Hopefully Emmanuel Moseley is next, and Emmanuel Moseley paired up with Charvarius Ward gives the 49ers a very solid cornerback tandem in a pass-happy NFL. In 2021, Ward allowed a reception rate of only 51%. That's 4th lowest among all NFL cornerbacks, and a passer rating of 73.5 in pass coverage, 11th lowest of all qualifying cornerbacks. So we know that the 49ers are a smart organization. They do go about some of their approaches in free agency and player evaluations with an analytical mindset. And while Ward doesn't blow you off the page with 8 picks last year like a J.C. Jackson, he was very good, allowing a reception rate of only 51%, 4th lowest among all NFL cornerbacks, and a passer rating of 73.5, 11th lowest of all qualifying cornerbacks. Had to repeat those numbers in case you missed them. So pretty solid resume for Ward, and he, I think, does have some potentially very good value down the road to even become a better player. And if you're paying a very good cornerback $14 million and you get very good production, you know, that can end up being a bargain down the road. So Ward to the Niners, first big splash for San Francisco, day one of NFL free agency. What also happened late, DJ Jones signing with the Denver Broncos, 3 years, up to $30 million. Average compensation, $10 million per year. I had predicted that on the first video today. Really good defensive tackle, great against the run, good against the pass, had flashed by tracking down Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson for sacks over the last couple of years. A late round project for San Francisco, who ended up being developed into a very good player and earned money to the point where the 49ers couldn't pay $10 million per year for a defensive tackle, especially when they're relying on Javon Kinlaw, former first-round pick, to get healthy and give you that production that DJ Jones gave you last year. So Jones going to Denver, really big addition along their defensive line, and it's a big loss for the 49ers. I mean, over the last couple of years, thanks to the development of Chris Kocurek, I mean, he's really taken strides in his game as a good and stout player, against the run, but also against the pass, where he really was able to flash this past year. So one more time, this is a reminder for why you subscribe to the channel, because even if it's late at night, we're bringing you the latest 49ers breaking news in addition to the latest 49ers rumors. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below, and I'll be back in the Chat Sports studios on Tuesday, day 2 of NFL free agency, bringing you all of the latest 49ers news and rumors. Also, we'll be going live starting at 11 o'clock Central, I believe, for day 2 of NFL free agency on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. Talk to all of y'all then. Thanks for watching today's show and making it a part of your day. Appreciate y'all. Got love for the Niner gang.